to start this project, I rolled out my Primo clay and I did it on my 5th thickest setting. So I would say it right in the middle. And here, that's about how thick I did it. So you have a general idea. And I made sure that I got 2 matching Ammonites. And then I also have these little hoops, okay? And these already are completely attached. Everything is ready to go. So I don't have to do nothing with those. And later on in another video, I'm going to make a matching pendant. So I got that. All right, so to start out with the earrings, the first thing that I'm going to do is just cut out 2 circles. Okay. And then I'm going to put these, I want to kind of cover, let me bend this a little bit. Let me see. I want to make sure this is 100% straight. Okay. So I want to cover up most of that and just keep the circle showing, all right? I'm sorry, the very top hole. I just want that to show only. I'm going to make sure this one's straight as well. Okay. Then I'm going to place this where I feel it's comfortable. There we go. And the reason I'm doing these side by side is because I want them to make sure that they match up nicely. Okay. Now I'm going to build up underneath my piece a bit. And I'm going to show you why. Let me take this up. So you'll see as I put this in here, I still have all that space. So that's what I need to build up underneath to keep it nice and secure. So I'm going to get my tile. I'll put this one off to the side for right this second. Now I got to readjust this. So I want this flat piece right here, kind of at the edge of this. So this way I know when I do my other one, I'm going to do it on the opposite side. This way I know they're even. Now I'm just going to take my clay and I'm going to kind of stuff some underneath there to keep it from being able to collapse down and move on me. And I'm going to make sure I get all the way around. And you can see it moved. So now I got to readjust it. Okay. There we go. And just stick some more right here so it stops moving on me. All right, now I'm just going to take all my edges and I'm going to start lifting them up a bit. And I want to cover everything except for that little hole, which I'm going to have to make sure that I take the clay off of that. Just pushing that clay down because I want that little piece to stick out so I have my earring place. And you're just going to keep playing with it until you get the desired shape that you want. I'll put that off to the side. I want this area pretty thin over here. Okay. Now I'm going to start pushing over here. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to clean up the edges because I want as much of my Ammonite to show as possible. So that's a pretty good start. Let me get my next one started. Remember to build up underneath the entire area. So around the whole piece, you want to get underneath. So this way it stays. And I just want to kind of put these next to each other because I think I had more clay on this one. So I want to take some of that clay off. Now I'm just going to make sure my pieces match up nicely. So I want to do the same thing. And here I'm just kind of scraping off the top layer to make everything nice and flush. Okay. I'm just pinching in the top to put it more on a little angle. There we go. Okay. So my next step is to make my mushrooms. So I'm just going to make some noodles. And I want these to be a little wide, but not too much. And I will cut these down. All right, so now I have my noodles done. And I'm just going to get a little ball. And then I'm going to get my ball tool. And I'm just going to kind of go around it and kind of make a little bowl, I guess you could say. Okay. I want to stick one of these. I'm going to make this a little thinner. Okay. Now I'm just going to kind of mark this up for the inside of the mushroom. And I'm just making lines. That's all I'm doing. Just giving it some texture. I want to see how that will look. I'm going to kind of cut that off right there. And I'm going to blend that right in there. Okay, I'm going to do that again. This time I'm going to get a little smaller. I'm not going to make it as thin. Okay. Let me get another one of these. Put that right on the side. Cut that one off. And one more, just a tad bit smaller. This one we're going to keep a little closed. So I'm going to make a circle. Then I'm going to get a little bigger. I get my ball tool. And I'm going to open. See how I'm opening it up there? So this will be a closed mushroom. Like, it won't be fully open. I'm gonna stick that right there, and we're going to take the tiny section there, or the tiny point, and just kind of push it in there so it locks in there. And we will, I'm thinking maybe right there or up here. Let's see, what do I like better? I'm thinking right there. And cut that off. And carefully blend these together. Okay, and now I'm just going to take a small piece of clay here. I'm going to stick that there, and I'm just going to make this look like moss. And because you see how it's not sticking to the Ammonite, I'm just going to get a little bit of, this is oven bake clay adhesive. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that. And I'm going to actually go underneath here. So this way my clay has something to stick to. Now I could just make my little moss patch. There we go. And I'm going to do a tiny bit up here. I'm actually taking that little clump of clay and I'm blending it in with my other clay so they all become one piece. This will just be a little bit fatter up here, which is what I want. I'm going to take a little glue, put that there. There we go. And then I want to clean that up a bit right here. And I'm going, right here's an opening, so I'm actually going to add just a little bit of clay there as well. Oops. I want less. Just want a tiny, tiny bit there. There we go. And I'm pretty happy with that. I like the way that looks. I'm going to put a little bit of glue underneath here. You see how that's flapped open? Let's put some glue there. That way that stays. This has a little bit of crack, which I don't mind because it makes it look more natural, but I want to make sure it doesn't crack all the way down. And I like that. All right, so that one is finished. Let's go on to this one. Now we want to try to make them as close as possible so they match. So once again, I'm going to start out with my top one, and this one I can see I want to get this completely attached. There we go. We want to make sure I want that to stay up. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to flatten this out. You can use your ball tool to make it nice and thin. I'm going to kind of just make sure that they're around the same size. Okay. carefully lift that. Now I have another crack in there, which is what I want. I'm going to put this at the top. Make sure that's at the right level. Let me do it this way, so they're right next to each other and I could kind of eye them up and make sure. Okay, I like that. And this was on the side. Okay, I'll blend that all in then. And the last one is a closed one. I'm going to take my tiny one, just kind of make sure I get that in place. And then we got to match this up the best we can. Okay, so first I want to take a little glue and put this underneath here. Make sure my little mushroom cap has something to hold on to. I'm going to do the same with this. Let me blend this all together nicely. Now I'm going to add my moss. I'm going to add a little bit more down here. Okay. And then a little bit on the top here. Just keep eyeing your piece up and trying to make them similar. They are not going to be perfect or exact, but you can get them close to each other. All right, so now I know I had a tiny bit in that little section there that's open. So I'm going to stick that in there. I think I need less. Let's just stick that right in there. There we go. And now I want to make sure that my mushroom tops are similar. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue underneath this one as well. I just want to squirt a tiny bit in here because I want to make sure that that is secure. And we already did that one. There we go. Okay. Let me look at this one again. Make sure that's pretty secure. And that's all good. Okay. This one I want a little bit over. All right, guys, so I'm pretty excited about this. These look great. So my next step is to put these in the oven. I'm going to bake them at 275 since this is Primo clay. So whatever your clay temperature is, it'll be on the package. So just look on the bottom of your package. It'll tell you right here. So this says 275 for 30 minutes per 1/4 inch. I'm going to bake these for a full hour. And then when they're done, I'm going to take them out. I'm going to let them cool off. And then we will come back. We'll paint them and get them all set up. My pieces are completely baked and out of the oven now. They're cooled off. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to paint the entire piece. So I actually have this Pearl Deep Brown mica paint, and I decided that that's the one I'm going to try and see how that looks on this. So I want to get the outside. Okay. Now I'm just going to take my tissue or my paper towel, and I'm just going to kind of rub on it. I want to see if I would like it like this, like an antique style first, or if I just want to do the whole thing brown. Right now my brush has just got a little water on it, and I'm just going to kind of get it a little wet, and I just want to experiment for a minute. What I'm doing right now is I'm getting my brush wet, and then I'm just slowly adding a little bit of paint because I want to see if I could get it just a shade lighter, but I don't want it too light, and I like that, so I think that's what I'm going to stick with. Get my brush a little bit wet and just add a tiny bit. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. Get my brush wet. Then I'm going to just pat it on my tissue. And I'm just going to get a little paint. I'm just getting the edges. And then I'm going to get a little bit more water. Okay. Let that dry for a couple minutes. Okay. My next step is I'm actually going to do the the stems of the mushrooms. So I got this mummy robes, it's called, and it's basically an off-white. I just want to brush over my stems. So I'm actually going to get the inside of here too. Okay, so while that is drying, we are going to just add the top of our mushrooms. So I got oak brown and I want to try that out, see how that works. Let me shake. All right, so now I'm going to just do the tops. This is a much darker brown. I'm going to add a little bit of white. I'm just kind of experimenting here and hoping that what I'm doing, I like the colors. If not, I can paint right over them, and that's what I like. All right, now I'm going to take my dark and I'm just going to go inside here, put it on nice and thick. And now I'm going to wipe it off. You see how it stays inside those little lines? That's exactly what I want, because that's going to give me all my little detail. Do the other one. Let's do the inside of this one first. All right, I like that. Inside came out really nice. Now I'm not sure what I want to do with the tops yet, because I'm not happy with that. Okay, so I think my best decision here is going to be, I'm going to do the full color. I'm going to make it the natural color. I'm not going to try to make it light like I initially thought I would. I'm going to keep it nice and dark. I think it's going to blend nice with the Ammonite. Okay. I'm going to see if I could come up with a color here for the top. And I think that is a pretty brown, and that's something that I could probably work with. Now I know I want to do my edging and bronze, so I want to see, let me shake that first. Let's see if I can add just a little bit. Okay, I have an idea of what I want to do. So let me try this and see how this looks. I want to put a little bronze in there. Okay, I like that. So let's do the next one. I'm just getting the edges of the mushroom right now in the bronze. All right, let that dry. Let me do this one. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry while I start on this one. Now I'm gonna do the green. Okay, let's see here. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm probably one of the messiest painters, but my end results are usually pretty good. And I'm just going to keep repatting, make sure I'm not missing any areas. And I think that looks pretty good for what I can see. Okay. Now I'm going to let that 100% dry before I start doing the white and then fixing up and cleaning everything up. So I'm going to give that probably about 5-10 minutes because this is a very quick drying paint. And then when that's dry, we'll come back, we'll finish it up, and then our earrings will be complete. Okay, so my pieces are dry, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up all this mess. I'm going to actually get this tool and just going to carefully scrape away all the paint that I got on my Ammonite. Okay. I'm actually going to take my wet and I want to kind of just give a little white there. Just to lighten it up a bit. Okay. Do the same there. Okay. My next step is I'm actually going to get my brown out again. And I'm going to do all my little touch-ups. So get your small paintbrush. Get some fresh paint here. And now just touch up just anything that you see that needs the brown. My green I like exactly the way it is, so I'm not going to do anything with that. I want to check my bronze, see if I need any touch-ups on this. And I like the way the bronze looks right now, so I'm actually going to do my white on my stems. I want to make sure my paint is thick on my brush so I could cover it nicely. I want to do just a couple white lines inside here to make it pop a little bit. Now I'm going to go back into my bronze. Do my little touch-ups here. Make sure I get my edges really nice. Just want to check my piece, see what needs to be done. Alright, this looks pretty good. So let's get a nice amount of white on here. Remember to always check the back of your piece too, because sometimes people will forget to paint that section. Alright guys. I am really liking the way that these are coming out. So my next step is I'm going to add my earring pieces on, and then I'm going to put my glaze on, because then by doing that I can hang them up and they can air dry. So make sure you don't have no paint on your piece here. All right. So I'm going to just open this loop. Slip my piece on. Get that ball out of the way. Reclose it. Okay. Alrighty. And now I'm just going to glaze right over everything. Here they are, guys. They're complete. They are just absolutely gorgeous. I am in love with these. You can see how the bronze really kind of makes the mushrooms pop. All the little detail inside, and the backs came out nice. They're lightweight, which is fantastic. I'm going to make a video using this Ammonite to make a matching pendant. It'll be slightly different, but it'll go along with the earrings beautifully. I hope you guys enjoy creating these earrings with me. If you did, please like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.